Well, we are back, everybody, as promised, with another terrific edition of Pick Your Politics. We've got a wonderful show here, kind of a first
Yes.
for us on Pick Your Politics. I'm one half of this team. I'm Dennis Silvers, and so lucky, so fortunate to have just an unbelievably great, creative co-host that I want to introduce. What's your name again? I forgot.
Some more adjectives. Come on.
My
Come on.
great
Get
co-host,
creative.
my great co-host, Stephanie Phillips, and we've mentioned we're getting close to the day.
Yep.
People really need to look at their ballots if they haven't early voted already, which opened up here in Southern Nevada last Saturday. They really need to vet the candidates, as we talk about every show, and they need to make a decision about who they want representing us, either on a state level, a local level here in Clark County, or on a national level. So this is serious.
It is. And there's a lot of voters already turning out for early voting, not only in our state, but across the country.
Across the country.
So I think this red wave that everybody's been talking about it's coming and it's on the way.
Yeah, and it's on the way. We have a kind of a unique show for you today. Not that the people are, well, they are kind of unique. They're great people. But this is the first time on Pick Your Politics. We don't have one, but we have two candidates for you, number one. And they are a married couple.
Yes.
So how different is that?
Yeah. The dynamic duo, political couple.
One is running for state assembly in Nevada, and April is running for
Senate District 21.
Senate District 21 here in the state of Nevada. But anyway, let me tell you a little bit about them, and we'll bring them up on camera and have them kind of fill in the blanks. That April and her husband, Larsen, came to Nevada in 2013. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was from California. Mentioned April as a candidate for Nevada State Senate in District 21, and she'll tell you all where that is about. Her and her husband operate a chain of restaurants in California, none here in Southern Nevada. And as mentioned, her husband Flemming is a candidate for Nevada State Assembly in District 12, and we'll have Flemming tell you where District 12 is located. So let's get going. So without further ado, let's bring up the Larsens, and we want to welcome both of you guys to the program. And again, kind of unique that when you both get elected, you're not going to be the first married couple that has served in the legislature here in Nevada, but it's really something. What made you guys both want to jump in the race, April?
Honestly, a big part of it was first I jumped in. I made the decision to run for Senate District 21, where we reside. And we got to talking, and as the filing date started to approach, we were watching to see who was going to jump on board for the Assembly District, which is half of my district.
Right.
And so we started to see some of these people that were rolling in, and we weren't happy with it. It was an open seat. We got to talking about it, and we both are very aware of political issues. We're very much involved as far as our community aspect, like we understand.
Yep.
We know what's going on. We know how much and how important, assembly people or people in the legislature are that affect us. And we just made that decision, and we said, you know what, Team Larsen was born.
Yes. Why not? Hey, why not? April, two things. First of all, tell all of our viewers where District 21 is, where that encompasses. And then, Flemming, I want you to tell everybody where District 12 is. And the second part of the question is, I'm assuming you came from California where you have your businesses. What brought you to Southern Nevada?
Well, to start, as far as Senate District 21 location is on the far east side of the valley. Our southern border of that district is located at the Lake Las Vegas and Tuscany region, right at Lake Mead there.
Okay.
And then the most northern border is where Lake Mead actually exits up near the Nellis Boulevard.
Gotcha.
And a small little arm that extends in between Sahara and Charleston all the way up to Fremont and Eastern.
Okay.
And that's Senate District 21.
That 21. Fleming?
Yeah, my district is basically half of my wife's, so I got to do half the work.
Thank God you have her.
That's right. That's right.
I love that. Where,
Like you
what-
said, Dennis, your better half is sitting next to you. My better half is sitting next to me as well.
Yeah,
So
well, all
we're
right.
both lucky men.
yeah.
So, my district is Lake Las Vegas, Calico Ridge, Tuscany area, and then the Sunrise Manor Mountain area
Okay.
by Hollywood Way. Hollywood Way, basically.
Okay.
A couple blocks of Hollywood Way and all the way up to Lake Mead Boulevard.
I gotcha. So what brought you guys here to Southern Nevada? I'm assuming from California, where you have your businesses.
Right. I think it was election 2012. We decided to move out of state, and because of the toxic political environment that California has become,
Yeah.
the legislature in 2012 flipped from a majority to a supermajority in California. And at that point, we were completely frustrated at what's going on, anti-business, anti-growth,
Yeah.
the business goes. And honestly, we looked at 3 different places. We looked at, Nevada, Texas, Arizona. And we were looking first, we didn't want to move to Nevada because of the strip and the aura that it has.
Yeah.
And, so, you come here and you see the backsides of the strip. So we were looking at Texas and Arizona for the most part. And then I think we were coming up here for a football tournament for our son's Pop Warner game, Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
And so we decided to, April and I decided to get a broker and say, let's have an open mind and go look at things. And so we got a broker, and we went and saw Summerlin, Southern Highlands, and Anthem.
Nice,
And really
nice.
fell in love. We fell in love with Henderson. We fell in love with the
Yes.
safe environment he has here, the pro-business climate,
Yes.
low cost of living, everything that we were looking for in a conservative town, we found here in Henderson. And so we decided to give it a year, I think, right?
Yeah.
Give it a year and see if, actually, she made me give her a year. And she said, if I don't like it, you promise we move back? And I said, absolutely. That's all I could ask for.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because we lived in Simi Valley, which is a fairly conservative
Oh,
town.
very.
We live right next to the Reagan Library. So, so I asked her 2.5 years later, I said, do you want to move back to California? And she said, quote, I'm never moving back to California ever again.
Oh, good,
Oh, my
good
goodness.
for her. Now
Yeah.
you operate Larsen's Restaurant Group in California, chain of restaurants. Why haven't you opened up a food operation here in Las Vegas and Henderson?
Well, Dennis, if we do, then we have to work.
Exactly.
So
They have other
we
people
opened-
doing the work for them
Yeah.
in California.
Yeah.
They're smart.
Yeah, that's true.
we have a great team in California.
Yes.
They do a phenomenal job. Honestly, we moved our corporate office here. We have a few business interests as well in Nevada as well. So we run that from our office in Henderson.
Good.
But for the most part, we would have to get back in the restaurant business. When our team is all in LA, it just makes it a lot easier, and it's harder for them to travel
Right.
up to Nevada.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Stephanie and I talked about this. I think the most important question in this whole interview, guys, is do your restaurants have an early bird special menu?
No.
No.
Okay. All right.
right.
End of interview.
Show's
End of
over.
interview.
Show's over. We gotta go. So, guys, as people are elected to the legislature, each of you can answer this. You get a certain number of BDRs. Can you explain to the folks what that is and what you two each plan for yours?
Well, these are bill drafts, obviously, and basically what happens in the beginning as newbies, a lot of that is a lot of learning curve, obviously, in the first, couple months. We do a lot of training. As far as anticipation of what we would like to present, my gosh, we've got a laundry list, but just to address the big concerns of our constituents has everything to do with, first, our education. With our broken education system, there are some bill drafts that we want to address as far as school choice uh, giving the cities the options to opt out of the Clark County School District to help create smaller portions, basically smaller school districts, in order to be much more manageable. We want to address the accountability aspect of that. As far as the public safety, that's another big one. There's a big issue with a lot of our criminals being let out on what's called OR, or their own recognizance, and cashless bail. And those are things that we're totally against. Yeah, we want to definitely create bills on that. Actually, I'll let my husband share a little bit about that. He's got some ideas as far as a committee coming together to help with that. And the obviously addressing, let's see, we just said the education and the public safety, the economy. My gosh, we need to address, figure out how we can put some bills in place that are going to address this issue of excessive spending that we're doing as a state. And it's really affecting our constituents.
Yeah.
And they're struggling, and
Yeah.
they're sick and tired of it. And so we really want to address those concerns.
Right.
Yeah, the crime is huge, not only in our state, but across the country. And, you know, I'm sure it's a combination of things. We don't have enough cops. They're not prosecuting enough. Maybe the penalties aren't stiff enough. What's your opinion about that, Flemming?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, one of my bill drafts that I would like to present is a really get tough on crime, protect our police. I have a friend who's a judge, retired judge. He just retired, Mark Stevens, and he's a good friend of mine. And we are going to form a committee once I'm elected, and we're going to get like-minded prosecutors and judges to create a bill, because obviously they're the experts and they see what's going on and what the legislator has kind of peeled away the last 3 or 4 years. We want to get tough on crime. We want to get tough on sex trafficking.
Yes.
We want to get to drug trafficking, and this cashless bail's got to end. So that way we can keep criminals in jail and keep our neighborhoods safe. And I really want to make sure that we get so tough on crime that criminals do not want to step in the state of Nevada. Our constituents, our neighbors deserve it. You know, I remember growing up in the 70s and 80s, and you were playing pickleball and baseball on the streets, and you didn't worry about crime like that. I also want to take care of, I want to enhance the corpus delicti law for child predators. So, because that's a big issue for me as well. So, but I'm going to put people, and this is what I do in business. You know, we have really great restaurants, and we have really great people that we hire. You know, I'm going to be able to hire and put together committees that are really good at what they do. And that's what I'm good at. I'm not the best chef out there. I'm not the best manager out there.
Yeah.
I grew up as a butcher. I'm not the best butcher out there, but I can tell you one thing: I'll be able to hire all the right people, put in place, and that's what CEOs do.
Right.
You know, the CEO of Ford doesn't know how to build a Ford, right?
Right. That's
He doesn't get on it.
right. That's a
So-
good. That's good. That's a good point. April looks like she'd be a hell of a cook.
She is.
It's a good thing you said that,
I
Flemming.
know.
It's a good thing.
You know,
It's called. What do you call that? Uber Eats.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, but I was trying to be kind. I just wanted to follow up with this because she talked about crime, which is very, very important, not only here, like Stephanie said, but all through the country. One of the byproducts, though, and I want April to answer this, of crime is that we've had this surge of homelessness, not only in your district, respectively, but all through the state, all through the country. April, what's your idea to help ease the pain, to help eliminate, to help the homelessness that's going on here with some sensible solutions?
Yeah, that's a definite great question, because it's true. It's becoming a huge issue even in our district, especially even on the south, which is surprising. One of the biggest challenges I think that we have with our homeless situation is mental illness. Okay, so you have a quite high percentage that have mental challenges, and those need to be addressed. We need to make sure that we establish resources for them, to allow them to have the opportunities to either seek the help, whether it be through health, doctors, or those that can help establish or set up like a reform aspect, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there are, as a matter of fact, right now in the north, I think it's closer to the west side of Las Vegas, there is a very large homeless, what is it? I'm so sorry. It's a home for the homeless to come
Okay.
to, and they've also got resources that they're establishing there to help create this environment where they can have the they can get better help. They will be hopefully transformed and placed in homes, etc. So
Right.
that's the goal. That's the
That's-
goal.
That's
And then
awesome.
getting back to crime itself, crime as well. Sorry.
Whoa,
Those
what's
your
that?
puppies?
I love it. What kind of dog is that? Because I'm a huge
German
dog.
Shepherd.
But what? How beautiful. How old?
He's 4 years
Four.
old.
Okay. That's all my
He
guy
accidentally
is.
snuck in the house here, so sorry about that.
That's okay.
A little upset.
No,
But getting back on crime, what also is qualified police officers. Seems like that legislators around the country, including ours, is trying to strip that away
Yeah.
to make sure we keep that intact, and if
Yeah.
not, make it stronger.
Yeah.
Because there's not we're missing about 250 officers in Metro, and there's not a better advocate for police officers than police officers themselves.
True.
I was speaking at I was at an event about 3 weeks ago, Saturday at a park in our district, and I was speaking to a Metro officer, and she's a young Metro officer, and I was telling her my platform, and she says, you know what, it's really frustrating that we arrest these criminals, and before we're done with the paperwork, they're basically out of jail already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you want to advocate for more police officers need to like their job and know that they're appreciated by your government and your state legislator.
Right.
You got your back, because I don't want them going into a situation where, oh, am I going to get sued or should I shoot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
First thing I want them to think about is that they're going to go home to their family at night.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
sick and tired of cops getting killed. That's my main priority, and that'll be part of my crime bill as well. Is restoring qualified immunity for our police officers,
Correct.
letting them know that we have their back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so important because, as you know, the woke 2020 happened, and anti-police defunded. You notice how the Democrats aren't running a defund anymore
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's not popular.
Right.
They know that
They
it
saw
doesn't
exactly.
it doesn't work. It can't work.
Right. It won't work.
Right.
And so, and they're seeing that now, so they're kind of backtracking a little bit. But bottom line is, we've stood from day one during 2020, making sure we have the backs of our police officers for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Well-
getting back, go ahead.
No, go ahead, April.
Go ahead, April.
I was going to say, getting back to the homeless challenge and the homeless shelter aspect. I know he was talking about the crime. Well, that's another issue with some of the homeless is the crime
Right.
that's being committed by some of them, and the safety. I've had plenty of constituents, especially in our district, that have mentioned that they don't feel safe. They don't want to go out of their homes, especially at night. They're concerned about their children who have to walk either,
Right.
to and from school.
Yeah.
And things of that nature. So it definitely needs to be addressed for sure.
Yeah, we had an incident about 3 weeks ago. Every Saturday, we meet with about 15 or 20 of our volunteers up at Lewis Park, at a park in our district. And we canvass and we break up in teams. We walk and we knock on doors. Well, we meet every Saturday at 9:30. Well, at 9:20, one of our volunteers showed up, and we were probably about 3 or 4 minutes out. And he calls us screaming. He just got stabbed 3 times.
Oh,
Right.
my gosh.
Right at 9:20 in the morning.
Horrible.
Wow.
And he was so afraid that it was the last time he was going to see his wife. He was running.
Oh, horrible.
He was bleeding, and he was hurrying up home. He lived down the street, and he thought it was the last time he was going to see his wife. So that shouldn't happen, and that's what we want to prevent in our neighborhoods.
Correct.
We need policing. We need more policing. We need 250 more officers to fill at least the budget we have now. And we can make sure that those resources go to the proper places to put
Yeah.
more cops in the street to
Yeah.
keep our. I mean, literally, it was at a park where kids were playing.
Terrible.
You know, as business owners, we really understand what it is to be fiscally responsible.
Yeah.
We understand what it is to balance a budget. You know, you don't have success because you can't balance it, right? And so I think that the state really needs help with that. We need to address, follow the money. I think we can find a lot of just
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Would you guys make a commitment that, as part of that crime bill, that we would roll back the felony theft amount back to 250? Because they changed that in the last legislature, and that has been an absolute disaster. We've seen that all over town and the country, actually.
Yeah.
So
Nightmare.
would you guys make a pledge to do that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You know, they're small business owners, and $250 means a lot to them.
It does.
You want to risk going into somebody's business and stealing their money? I'm not in favor of that. That's not your right to go steal $200 from somebody. It's not
Right.
your right to steal $100.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not the police's fault that you didn't raise your kids properly. You had 18 years to teach your kids how not to steal and cheat and, you know, and treat people bad. You know,
Right.
it's a situation where, yeah, if you steal, you need to pay the price.
Absolutely.
And-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's our commitment. We're 110% behind law enforcement, you know, do what's right.
Right.
And you steal $250, that's a lot of money for a lot of people. I mean,
Yeah,
small
yeah,
businesses, sometimes
that's
what do you make that a week?
That's exactly right. When
Maybe-
you got, well, go ahead.
Maybe a part of the problem with the police shortage and things like that is there was a mandate put in place for them to get the COVID shot. A lot of people that's
Yeah.
people don't like that. So would you guys, had you been in office during COVID, how would you have voted with the mandates, the lockdowns, the masks, all of those things?
Listen, you know, we didn't know in the very beginning.
Right.
We were okay closing for 2 weeks because we didn't know. We didn't know what was going on. You know, being in business, you know, we understand what it's like to keep our patrons and our staff healthy,
Right.
from diseases, because that's what we deal with every day. So we were drinking the Kool-Aid first 2 weeks, but once it became from a pandemic to a scamdemic, that's when I realized that this is just a scam. When the governor allowed, you know, Allegiant Stadium to be open because it was essential to build a football stadium, but it wasn't essential for, you know, Mrs. Jones to open her flower shop down the street,
Yeah.
or
Right.
a Bill's Butcher Shop to stay open.
Yeah.
It just wasn't right. And it's not, every job is essential. So we propose, obviously we need a majority. We need to have, it's okay, give the governor 2 weeks or 30 days, whatever, whether it be Republican or Democrat, we should never, ever have that much power.
Right.
And if we
Right.
want to extend it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever the case may be, the legislator, you know, in conjunction with the Republicans and Democrats, have to
Yeah.
agree
Correct.
to extend it. Because
Yeah.
it probably would have been extended another 30 days. We didn't know at the time. But, you know, June 1st, for sure, everything should have been open.
Yeah.
The riot happened. When I saw our LA mayor in the streets with 100,000 people screaming, yelling, and praying, you know, on the ground with no masks on. But, you know, I see the governor of California eating in restaurants and going to different places, you know, do as I say, not as I do.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yes, needs to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
Hypocrisy at the highest.
Yeah, that exactly.
Right.
That's
Totally.
a good term for it. When you guys are walking, when you're talking to people, when you're knocking on doors, when you're going to events, when you're meeting people in the park, what is the biggest issue, if you could put it in one issue, one or two, that they want you to address?
Oh, gosh, the biggest issue, we just had a conversation with this actually today. The biggest first topic that I'm hearing them talk about is public safety. The second topic that they address is economy. A lot of our constituents in our district here, they're struggling. And they have to make hard decisions. Am I going to feed my family this week, or am I going to put gas in the car?
Yeah.
And those are things that they shouldn't have to choose between. And so those are some big concerns. And obviously, like public safety, people should feel safe to go to their, you know, going to their job, or, you know, like you said, going to and from school, things like that. It's a huge, huge issue, you know, and
Yeah.
we need to address those concerns.
Yeah,
for
April's got a very big district. It depends where you go. Like in Lake Las Vegas, they're worried about water and
Yeah.
and economy. There's a
Right.
lot of retired people that
Economy, yeah.
they have fixed income.
Right.
Right.
And so, their money, 16% inflation rate here in Nevada, which is double the national average, which is pathetic.
Wow.
This-
That's what in Lake Las Vegas they want to address is water and money. Crime
Sure.
is not too big in Lake Las Vegas
Yeah.
because it's
Right.
kind of a little area,
Yeah.
but because it's such a big, vast district that especially April has. So it's all different things. Some are school, some are safety, some
Yeah.
are water. But we're going to try to see if we can address all those when we get to the legislator.
Right.
The other hot topic as well is election integrity. So, as you know, the legislature, they changed all the laws during COVID. Ballot harvesting, universal mail-in ballots, everybody gets a ballot.
Yep.
And that just is, creates so much fraud or the potential for
Right.
fraud.
Well, Stephanie,
How are you guys going to vote to change all and voter ID those things?
So-
Would you vote to have all of those changed?
So Stephanie, what we're
Yes.
seeing on the campaign trail too, because we have a list of people that we go to, independents and soft Democrats and, Republicans, depending on if it's a primary or not.
Right.
We'll knock on these doors and say, hi, Mr. Jones, for example. Oh, no, he hasn't lived here in a year. We bought his house a year ago.
Yeah.
So they're getting Mr. Jones's ballot.
Yeah.
I would probably say of the 6,000 homes we probably knocked on, 30% answered the door. So that's 1,800. And I'd probably say 250 of those were wrong addresses. That person didn't live there anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
so we know our election cycle is only as good as our weakest link.
Yep.
And our weakest link by far is the mail-in ballots.
Yes.
That's obviously got to end. And I think it should end on mail-in ballots. My personal opinion, it's not April's personal opinion, but my personal opinion, mail-in ballots should end on the day of early election. So that
Yep.
way on November 8th, you have that 4 days.
Right.
We have plenty of time to count mail-in ballots.
Yep.
We know who's the winner on election night. This is,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. We're finding out a week later or 2 weeks
Yeah.
later who our elected officials are, whether it be Republican or Democrat.
Yeah.
Right,
It's
and
a great
Steph,
point.
the fun thing is nobody's ever addressed. Do you know how much those cost?
Yeah.
Oh, they're like $7 a ballot. Is that right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Almost $8 per ballot, and
Yeah.
every single person is getting one. Do you know
Wow.
what we could be doing with that money?
Right.
It's-
A lot
yeah.
more with education probably and water.
Teachers could get paid more.
Yeah, and water.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly right. No, that I did
Yeah.
not know.
Yeah.
Admittedly, it costs that much.
Oh, yeah.
But that is ridiculous.
It's a huge problem, and that all of those laws they put into place, and we need voter ID, and just
Yep.
all of those things need to be changed.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same
You know,
page with that.
You need an ID to go to the bank. You need an ID to
Sure.
cash a check. You need an ID to
Correct.
check into a hotel room.
Right.
You can't check in any single room in the hotel, on the Vegas Strip without an ID.
Yeah, it's
Well,
it's silly.
And we
no
need
sense.
and we need a Secretary of State who's actually going to do their job and clean up the voter rolls and get all of those, because that's what you're seeing.
Well,
She
good
just
point.
completely has forsaken her
That's-
job,
that's
in my
a-
opinion.
That's a
So, yeah.
very good point.
Yeah.
Time is
Go
getting
Jim Marchand.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, yeah, with Jim. Time is getting short. Are you guys doing any events? Are you continuing to walk? Are you speaking anywhere? How can people learn about you if they want to donate? Because it takes money to run a campaign. Give us all of that.
Right. Well, the good thing is that we haven't taken one single penny from any PAC, any unions, any hotels, any special interest, nothing. We've only raised money through friends and family, the grassroots, the way to do it.
Correct.
So when we go to Carson City, we owe nobody nothing. All we owe are votes to our constituents in our state. That's it.
Right.
So to answer your question, yeah, we've been speaking everywhere. We've been we're door knocking every day. As a matter of fact, we're going door knocking right after this interview.
Yes.
Even though it's been 12 days left of the election, we're going to turn every stone and leave it unturned.
Right.
No
awesome.
stone unturned.
No
Excuse me.
stone
Sorry.
unturned.
No, yeah, no
But-
stone
Yes.
left
We
unturned.
knew what you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
I've-
And so yes, As far as speaking aspect, we don't have any scheduled speaking events coming up, but we do have events like a trunk or treat up on the LDS community, up in Sunrise Manor
Okay.
this week. We've got, we're out there door knocking every day that we possibly can. What else are we doing? I think we've got a couple other big events where we're hoping to, this is a big event. Being able to get it out on the podcast.
Yeah. If people wanted to vet you a little bit more, do you have a website they could go to?
Most definitely. They can reach myself at vote for the number 4, aprillarsen.com.
Okay.
Or the same for Flemming would be vote for the number 4, Flemming with 2 M's,
Okay.
Larsen.com.
That's great.
Larsen
Okay.
can eat.
Yeah, that's pretty easy to remember. Well, Stephanie and I, as you know, both want to wish you all of the luck in the world. I know you're working hard, and it's getting close, and
Yeah.
it's down to the wire, and we're here. You know how to reach us. If we want to reach out, we could help you in any way. And I've got one last question, Flemming. If I called one of your locations in California, I don't know how many you have. Do they deliver? Can I get something delivered?
No,
might be a
you can
hefty
probably-
delivery fee.
You can go to
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats, probably. But
I like it.
listen,
I
we'll
like
do
it.
anything for anybody. We're not in the food business. We're in the people business.
Correct.
So
You're in the people.
if you want a
There you go. It's a
fillet,
great answer.
Yep.
if you want a fillet, we'll fly it out here for you. It's going to cost you a lot, but we'll fly it out.
I hear you. It's probably well worth
Probably worth
having
it, yeah.
as well. Anyway, we'll let you guys go. We'll let you get on to door knocking. We appreciate your time. Again, we wish you well. And hopefully we'll be talking to you again soon.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Excellent. We appreciate
Thank you.
if the viewers want to really help us. They can get out and tell their neighbors to vote for us and other Republican candidates. We really want to change the state and bring it back to good old Nevada values.
Gotcha.
Get out and
We do
vote.
too.
Gotcha.
Thanks,
Get
guys.
out and vote. Thank you guys very
Thank
much.
you.
We'll talk to you.
All right. Thanks so
Thank you.
much. Have a great
You're
day.
welcome.
Bye.
All right, April and Flemming Larsen.
Yeah.
Interesting couple.
I love it. I'm glad they decided to run together. And that's, when you have a husband or running or a wife running, the other one has to be a support. And it's
Well, I was going to say
gotta
they're
be
both very supportive.
got to be a team effort to
Yeah.
make that work. And it's just great that they're both running. So it's
going to
perfect.
be interesting. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up for this edition of Pick Your Politics with Stephanie Phillips. I'm Dennis Silvers, and remember, get out like we were talking about, vet those people. Election's coming up, but more importantly, you got to get out there and vote because it does make a difference, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll see you back again next time, kind of same place, same time with another candidate. So until then, so long.
See you later.